Hi, I'm Dark Shades, and today's video is about generosity. Now, how generous are you? Now, for me, I tend to be generous with my time, and a lot of people, they don't think that equates to generosity. A lot of people equate generosity to money, and money isn't always what generosity is about. You cannot put a price on time. When you think about somebody like Donald Trump or Neymar, the footballer, or some of these other famous people like Simon Cowell, you couldn't pay for 5 minutes of their time. It's like private consultants. You can't pay for 5 minutes of their time unless you're rich. Now, just because I'm not high paid, I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire, that doesn't mean that my time is less valuable. And it doesn't mean that because I'm a middle class woman, that you can keep me waiting for half an hour, or you can ask me to do something and then not tell me that you've changed your mind when I've planned and I've done all of this stuff in preparation. When you're thinking about time, when you're thinking about generosity, that comes in the form of time, it comes in the form of advice, it comes in the form of, what else does it come in the form of? Making introductions, networking, being a volunteer. All of those examples are an example of generosity. It's not just about money. Now, you'll get some people who make out like they're generous when they're not. You can get people who will say, oh, here's a few quid, here's 50 quid. Go and have a manicure. Go to the hairstylist. Go and have your feet done. Go and buy yourself a nice dress. And you're thinking, whoa, this is great. He's buying me this. He's paying for me to go to the hair salon. I can get my nails done. Whoa, you call your fella say, guess what, mate? I've got my fella just gave me 50 quid and I'm going to go and get my nails done. And your fella like, really? And you're like, yeah. And you're so excited because you've got this bloke and he's so generous. Next thing you know, and call you 2 weeks later. Oh, I'm a bit broke, can you lend me a few quid? I need 50 quid to go and do so-and-so. And you say, well, look, I ain't got any money. I don't get paid until blah, blah, blah. And they say, oh, well, I did that for you. Can't you find it from somewhere? Can't you get it from somewhere? Can't you borrow it from somewhere? I gave you 50 quid the other day and I gave it to you to get your nails done and your hair. I helped you out. I'm like, no, I didn't ask you for that money. I thought you were being generous. But you'll get people like that. You'll get people who play like they're generous when they're not. It's a form of manipulation and it's a form to get you on side so they can ask you for money later. That's not generosity, and I prefer not to have that generosity. If you're giving me something to get something back, I prefer you not to give it to me at all. Because when I give because it's a gift and I don't expect anything back. And that's the difference with generosity. Generosity means you have it in surplus, and when you give it, you don't expect to get anything back. So if you decide to treat somebody for dinner, or you want to buy somebody a present, you do it just as a goodwill gesture. You're not looking for any return on that. So and that is what generosity is about. And similarly, when I give my time, I'm very careful about what I give my time to. It has to be something that I enjoy, because that way it's a win-win situation. Now, supposing somebody said, oh, look, Myrna, I need you to DJ at a club. Can you help me out? I don't have any money, but, I really need your support. In that situation, I like to DJ, and I'd probably say, yeah, I can help you out. If you get a big crowd, just give me a few quid and that'd be fine. But I'd be more than willing to help somebody out because it's something I enjoy doing. Now, if somebody said to me, oh, look, I really need some help laying down some concrete in my back garden. No, I'm not helping you do that. I'll give you a card and I'll advise you who you can go to, but I'm not doing that because that is not where my interest lies. That is not where my talent lies, and that would be too laboursome. So no, I'm not doing that. And I suggest that when you do help people, you make sure that it's in an area that you feel comfortable. When people volunteer, people sometimes take them for granted because they're offering their work free of charge. But, you know, when you're thinking about is their time, you have to you have to value them. Value your volunteers. Value people who give you advice. Value people who do you favours and give you their time. It doesn't have to be, it's not all about money. And that's the problem with people, because sometimes they think if you're not giving them money, you're not doing anything. You're not helping them out. And that's not how it should go. So what about lending? What's your thoughts about lending money? Now, you've got some money, you've got it all nicely tucked away. You know what you want to do with it. And somebody comes to you and says, look, can you lend me 50 quid? And you're like, you've got the 50 quid. But you're like, I'm not sure. Now, you've got one type of person who will say, yeah, I've got 50 quid, I can lend it to you. And that person will take the 50 quid, and because they got it so easy, they won't even think about giving it back. And people who give money easily, when they've got it, you'll find that people take advantage of them. You'll find that they don't only ask them once, they'll ask them twice, 3 times, and it'll become an expectation. But when you when you know that what you have money for and you prioritise it, this is about looking after yourself. You've got money put down, you've got it down there for a purpose. Now, if somebody comes and asks you for 50 quid, you ain't got it, because you have it set down for a purpose. Now, if you have a surplus amount and you can negotiate terms with this person, you can suss out whether this person is a pee taker or whether or not they're sincere and genuine, then you can decide whether or not you feel like loaning them the money. But when you loan somebody, that's got nothing to do with generosity. If you loan people freely, you might think you're being generous, but for the most part, those people will just take advantage of you. Because anything that people get too easy, they never appreciate it. And they don't quite understand how you can give something, especially when they've been asking other people to lend them money and they ain't got it. They just think, oh, well, this person's got it, they've given it to me. So be careful, be discerning who you lend money from. Make sure you look after yourself. When you're giving your time, make sure that people don't take advantage of it. Make sure that if they've asked you to do something, that they arrive on time, that they have things in place so they're not keeping you waiting, and all of those things that help you appreciate people who appreciate you. So I think that is all. I've considered myself quite generous. I'll give it if I have it, and if I don't, I won't. Simple as that. And I'm not going to let anybody make me feel guilty. I'm not going to let anybody kind of finagle me into giving them money. And I'm quite wary about people who try to take advantage. You can tell who they are. So this is a little bit about, are you generous? Are you generous, or are you stingy? Stingy means that you think that you haven't got enough. It's a poverty mentality. That's what stinginess is. You have it, but you hold on to it and you don't want to give it out to anybody. And even if somebody, that's totally different from being sensible and for, protecting yourself. Stinginess comes from a totally different mindset. It comes from a place of lack, where you've never had and you don't think you ever will have. So you're not going to give what you got. You just hoard it like Scrooge. And then, even if you've got it, you ain't giving it out. And you could have a whole heap of money, but because you have that lack mentality that it's not going to last you or that there's no more, you hold on to it. So anyway, that's all for now. I hope you found it useful.